Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be starting on a new mod series. I'm going to be modding my recently purchased Kizer Urban Bowie, or Bowie, tomato, you let me know. I picked this up on I think it was oh goodness, what was it? A 4th of July sale from Knife Center. This will run you on the Kizer website, Blade HQ, places like that, $79. I got it on sale for $54. Knife Center. It's probably gone back up. You know how these sales run. So, man, I'm really digging this little thing. It is tiny, but it is mighty. This very aggressive upward swept belly, this clip point here. The micarta handles are really nice. It's that rough burlap micarta. 154 cm on the blade, my favorite steel. So you know I had to get it. Let me do some size comparisons real quick for you here. I've got the Civivi Elementum in D2 there, which is not a big blade in itself. And then I've got the Kizer 0562. Oh, yeah, it's a small blade. So overall, I think it's 2.3 inches on the blade, and completely open, it's like 5.5 inches. But we're going to be doing another one of my, we'll call it Native American series here. I'm going to be doing some work on the handle material and on the blade itself, and giving you some history into a Native American culture. So sit back, relax, we'll enjoy this together, and I hope you learned something. With this mod or build, we're going to be discussing the Lakota tribe, also known as the Teton Sioux. They are one of the 3 prominent subcultures of the Sioux people. Their current lands are primarily in North and South Dakota, but they once spread much further than that. There are 7 bands inside the Lakota tribe. Now, I can't pronounce their actual names, so I will tell you what their translations are. The most notable Lakota persons that you've probably heard of in history are Sitting Bull, Red Cloud, Black Elk, and of course, Crazy Horse. So yeah, the Kizer Urban Bowie. This is a Dirk Pinkerton design. It's really small. It only has one mechanism to open it, and that is the thumb hole. There is no flipper tab. There are no thumb studs. It's just the hole. So you can kind of thumb roll it or spotty flick it. It works really well. It's super fidgety. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is remove the pocket clip and the scales and get this broke apart to do some dyeing. In case I forgot to mention, I'm using my Kershaw. It's kind of a pocket tool. It's got a T8, T6, and I think there's a T4 and there's a flathead screwdriver. It's all kept in here, and they're magnetic. They just slide in here. This is pretty much the best tool that I found for this job. I had some other ones that I bought at Walmart, and the heads of these things all just bent and stripped, and you know, it just wasn't a good time. So I found this one, this particular one. You can buy it at Kershaw or Kai. I got mine at Blade HQ. I think it was $7 when I bought it. So, and it's kind of a pocket tool. I mean, you can keep it in your pocket if you got a knife that you know the pivot loosens all the time or something, and you just need it as a backup just in case. You know, it's great. Fits in your pocket. It's got a pocket clip. So it's always handy to have. So there's the pocket clip off. It is a reversible tip up for both sides. So, all right, let's continue to get these things broke down. Around 1730, the Cheyenne people introduced Lakota to horses. And the Lakota centered their society on hunting buffalo on horseback. Eventually, though, Lakota and the Cheyennes went separate ways. The Lakotas settled in the Dakotas around Black Hills and still make that part of their home today, as they consider it sacred ground. But the initial United States had contact with the Lakota tribe during the Lewis and Clark expedition of 1804 to 1806. The Lakota bands refused to allow the explorers to continue upstream through their lands and prepare themselves for a battle, which never came. Here we are. Here's the full broke down, blown out look of it. So I've only had this thing for about 3 or 4 months. It's pretty dusty in there. But we're going to give it a good cleaning. It does run on bearings. That's nice. But this is what we're working on today. We're going to be working on these two bad boys right here. So for this mod or build, I'm going to be writ dyeing these two handle scales. And based on the Lakota tribe's colors and meanings, we're going to be going with yellow and black. Yellow for healing and growing. Black for reflection and soul searching. In most Native American cultures, colors were used in symbolic meanings. Most of them across the country had the same or similar meanings. In different subcultures, there may be small variations between different colors. But for the Lakotas, the 4 primary colors were red, yellow, black, and white. They also use these 4 colors to symbolize, directions, like cardinal directions or compass on a map. East was symbolized with red, meaning newness, beginnings, and dawn. That's where the sun rises. South was symbolized with the color yellow, meaning healing, growing, and youth. West was symbolized with black for reflection, soul-searching, dusk, and endings. And north was symbolized by white, the wisdom of ancestors, a higher power, guidance, and of course, seasons. The Black Hills were considered sacred by the Lakota people, and they objected to the U.S. government coming in to mine. Between 1866 and 1868, the U.S. Army fought the Lakota and their allies along the Bozeman Trail over U.S. forts being built. Chief Red Cloud led his people to victory in Red Cloud's War. And in 1868, the United States signed the Fort Laramie Treaty, exempting the Black Hills from all white settlements forever. However, 4 years later, gold was accidentally discovered, and prospectors and white people descended upon the area. With prospectors trying to strike it rich, attacks on settlers and miners started happening more frequently. And so a military force, led by Lieutenant Colonel George Custer, led a campaign to hunt and kill the buffalo as means of destroying the Lakota tribe. Then the Lakota and Arapaho bands came together and unified the Northern Cheyenne tribes. They fought a successful campaign, delaying actions in the Battle of Rosebud and preventing such armies as the 7th Cavalry from crossing. Custer came together with some men and attacked a camp of tribes. But this tribe, or these group of tribes, were much larger than he realized. These combined forces of the Northern Cheyenne were led by Chief Crazy Horse. They killed 258 soldiers, wiping out an entire battalion of Custer at the Battle of Little Bighorn. But the Lakotas did not get to enjoy their victory for very long. The U.S. Congress authorized funds to expand the army in that region by 2,500 soldiers. This reinforced army defeated the Lakotas, ending the Great Sioux War in 1877. Let's see what we look like here. Now again, with it wet, it looks brown. But then I just kind of dab it to dry it, and the yellow starts to pop a whole lot more. So even as it's kind of, well, if we'll focus. Yeah, you see the yellow there? Starting to show up as it dries. Very interesting. Because if you look at the outside face of the micarta versus the inside, it's much more yellow. So there was less oil from my hands on this side than there was on this side. So let's go ahead and swap to black. New can, new water, new hot water. We'll do the black on the other scale. We'll give this time to dry. Again, that inner side looks nice and yellow. This side, not so much. So I'll see what I come up with for this, but let's change this out. Here we go with the black. All right. Now the black is obviously going to stick into here better because it's a darker color, so it's going to show up better. Oh, fun fact, while that's doing its thing, I've dyed several scales here by myself and with Infinite Enzo at his place. The Daffodil Yellow Rit Dye More is the worst smelling out of all of them. In case you were curious, it's awful. All right, it's been about 45 seconds. Let's see what this... Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, that black is black. That's for sure. So, it's still wet. Starting to dry, but very, very nice black coloring to it. So, we'll let this dry. We'll reassemble it. And then I'll tell you about the next step that we're going to do here in the process. All right, we're all back together. Black and yellow. Again, I don't know if it's the lighting in my garage. It is a little bit more yellow. There you go. In real light. But now I wish I could find a way to make it pop a little bit more, but overall I'm pretty happy with it. So now we are going to head over to Mr. Enzo's lair, and we're going to do some rock carving along the spine. But so far, I'm loving it.